Hey now, welcome in to another edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast here on the Let's Go Devils podcast network. Non-Devils playoff edition going on over here. Season 7, episode number 26. It's Scotty along here with Short Sky. How's it doing, buddy? Nice to see you.
It's doing. Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. It's doing good. It's been such a while, such a long while, and we haven't had much Devils hockey to watch since the 15th of April. So
No,
it's just
we
been.
haven't.
Although it's been some pretty damn good playoff hockey, I gotta say that it's been a lot of good hockey to watch, and relatively stress free, which is the nice part, with the exception of that. You know, the Kane series right now. There's a little bit of stress
series.
little
bit of stress on that one over there, but you know.
Yeah. It's mostly because we don't want to see one of those two teams win. But
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. But yeah, how you been? It's literally what feels like forever, even though it's been just about a month at this point.
Yeah.
Scott,
oh, did I freeze there? Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, for a moment.
Okay.
I was like, oh man, I had that happen once on Game Day Live where Vinny just completely froze out, and I just went for like 15, 20 minutes just trying to make stuff up as I went along. So as soon as I saw you frozen, I was like, I just had flashbacks to that episode. I was like, okay, Here we go.
It's like, it starts Googling everything on his phone. You're like really quick, like, okay, get all these stats up here. I gotta stretch it out. Gotta stall. But yeah, hello to everyone on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else. We had a little time off. Our boy Sam had some complications, from his lupus, but he's recovering. End of the season, you got to take care of all those nicks and damages and everything like that. So Sam was taking care of a few things. We took a little break there, and now we're back. We are back.
We are. Yeah, we have
we were
put
working
Sam
on a golf game, like the Devils.
We have
That's
been.
all.
We have been.
Yeah.
And we put Sam on LTIR, and we're trying to explore what to.
And now Short Sky froze. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Now I'm back. Although what we've seen from the first round of the playoffs, going above and beyond your LTIR cap space was not a certainty this year. So while we may explore what to do with that LTIR space with Samu's absorbent contract,
yes,
if the playoffs are an indication of anything, it's not always that guaranteed win like it may have been in a couple of years past. Like with Toronto, or not Toronto, but with Tampa and Vegas most recently.
Yes, Sam signed himself to a max contract in WooBucks. So, there's that. I think there I am. My picture keeps freezing here.
Hey, it wouldn't be a podcast without technical difficulties.
Little technical difficulties. Yeah. But yeah, we got the Bruins and the Panthers on right now.
Yeah, we do.
I got the Panthers in this series, and hell's bells. First things first with these playoffs. I hope Tom Fitzgerald is watching and seeing the amount of physicality that has been going on in all these games. And a guy who just scored a goal within the last 5-10 minutes here for the Florida Panthers, Sam Bennett. He's going to be out on the market. That is the type of player I feel like we need in Jersey, because let's face it, Florida is going to have to re-sign Reinhart too. And all of his goals, he had a nice season at the right time. I am sure he's going to get a pretty raise. Pretty good. And Sam Bennett may be out there as kind of a casualty of that. That is the type of player, the gritty, hard-nosed player that I think we need on this team. And wasn't he close to 20 goals? He might have been more
I don't
The
know. I'm really
I
not
gotta
sure.
look up his stats for this year, but he had an impressive goal total as well for someone who plays, in that role. Bum bum bum. Sam Bennett. Career stats. Here we
Here we
go.
go.
Where was it? Why does it only go to 22, 23?
Nothing.
Ah!
Nothing from. All right, let me go to the old NHL app.
Wait. NHL.com. Here we go. This will be the one. Yes, I'll
Give me
accept
show
your
prep.
damn cookies. He
Give me
had
show
19
prep promo
goals,
show. All right,
26
just short of
assists,
20. Was he
45
out
points
injured?
plus 7.
Was he out injured
What's
for
that?
the season too, or no? I
I don't
was
know. He had 68 games played. He might have been injured at some point or another.
okay. So 19 goals, 68 game, but he's that grinder role. But still,
Yeah.
to be almost like you said, 20 goal scorer as a grinder, that's someone that you can absolutely use on your team and for your team. That would be a big benefit. I would absolutely take him. Depending on the cap hit, the cap is going to go up. We were one of 6 teams that get penalized for cap space usage, and
Mm-hmm.
none of those
Mm-hmm.
6 teams were the top 4 most egregious abusers of the LTIR cap space, which blows my mind. But as long as we can fit it in, and we'll see what Fitzy decides to do. In
Oh,
this
wait.
offseason, decisions have to
Wait.
be made.
I'm looking at the wrong thing here. I was looking at career playoff. So
Oh
wait, hang on.
man,
So he played 69 games, 20 goals, 21 assists, 41 points for a
that's good.
plus
I'll take it.
17, 100 penalty minutes, which means he gets in there and does
He
some of
does.
that rough
He
stuff.
mucks it up, and that's what we need. We need
Shots, 100,
someone.
193
We need
shots. It
someone not
doesn't have.
to do that,
I
or
gotta look at
we need someone
I guess.
to do it. I can't even
Oh
speak
yeah.
anymore, man. A couple weeks off, and I can't speak on a microphone anymore. Holy crap!
Well,
Jeez.
that's the type of player that the Devils could really use and definitely
Yeah.
missed this season. That gritty player who's going to go into those dirty places. We've talked about it for so many times,
Yeah.
but going in there, being physical, not afraid to stand up to people. He's going to stand up for his teammates as well, which we know half the season the Devils didn't do. He's a guy that might be able to provide that spark that this team,
Wow.
was missing last year. And we got a 6-on-5 situation going on right now here at the end of the Bruins Panthers game with I don't know how far
With
behind
the
my
empty net.
we got an empty
I don't
net.
have a
Yep.
TV in front of me.
It's
Unfortunately, though,
3-2, about a minute left.
I'm looking at Cap Friendly. It's Sam Reinhart that's going to be. So Sam Reinhart's the UFA at the end of the season, and Bennett's still signed for another year at 4.4.
Oh, is he signed for another year? Oh, is that what it is?
He's
Well,
signed
either
for one
way,
more
they're
year.
gonna re-sign Reinhardt. So maybe
Yeah.
there's a trade.
So Bennett could be a trade on draft day in order to make that fit, and then we would have to find a way to make him fit, because 4.4 for what he does and what he brings to your team really isn't terrible. And if you can keep him somewhere near that, but I'm sure he's going to want a pay raise. He is, what is he? I think I saw 27. He's 27, so he's right at that prime age, and he's probably going to want like a 6-year type of contract.
Well,
would be my thought, at least.
Just saying, you look at what we got with Palat, I think Bennett is what we were,
Yeah.
It is what it is at this point. But I have a feeling that the Panthers may be a little bit strapped for cash. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him out there on the market. And who wouldn't want a guy like that on their team?
I would absolutely take them. And
other teams hate to play against him. He's one of those.
And looking at their draft for this year, they do not have a first or second round pick, nor do they have a fourth, nor do they have a seventh. So they only have 6, 2 5s, and a 3 in this year's draft. So it is possible that they could go for draft capital when it comes to making a trade to open up some space there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see what Fitzy can do, because Bob still has 3 years left, and he's making $1 billion, and they have almost no cap space here. I think they were on like 100,000 LTIR.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we can see how that's going to roll here. There's going to be a lot of talk, obviously coming up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fitzy use this first round pick, in a trade situation. That just really would not catch me off guard, because the Devils, you have these players that are moving into that kind of win now sort of time of their career. And we've gone through the rebuilds. We've gone through all that. You have this core. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I am not sure, but I would not be shocked to see Fitzy dangle that first round pick, especially because it's a top 10 pick too. It is the 10th pick, whatever, but that's still top 10. That's still top 10 right at the end there, but we can still say it's a top 10 pick. So,
what was the pick we traded for Corey Snyder? That was 9, correct?
I think it was 9, and it was Bo Horvat. Old Bo.
Yeah. So it's a tradable pick, but you can also get a really damn good player at that pick as well, at number 10.
Yeah.
You could also, if there's a team that wants someone else, you could potentially trade up. You can swap a 10 for a 7 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. So it'll be fun to see what Fitzy does. It seems like, with this being the last true draft that they're going to do in person, there could be a lot of things that happen at this one. Teams could be willing to make a splash, and with this being the last in-person, full-out, draft, taking place at the Sphere out there in Las Vegas.
The Sphere.
Fear the Sphere.
Fear the Sphere. Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You already kind of see the rumblings, around a lot of it, obviously, in regards to the coaching situation for the Devils as well. We know that some interviews have taken place. Okay, they have been out there, like Craig Berube, Todd McLennan, who was formerly with Edmonton and then LA.
And San Jose.
San Jose. He was with San Jose, yeah.
San Jose for a long while, yeah.
Sheldon Keefe now is out of Toronto.
And in the mix,
That's an interesting situation.
It is.
Because we know that Sheldon Keefe was hired by Kyle Dubois, who is now in Pittsburgh. And we've seen the coaching staff in Pittsburgh get completely gutted, except for Sullivan. And we also know who Sullivan used to work with when he was in the Pittsburgh organization. Now he's with the old Devils. So, with Keefe back out there, I'm just obviously throwing hypotheticals out there, but would he potentially land in Pittsburgh?
It's possible.
Reunite?
It's possible, and our good friend Justin from the UK has been sending me stuff and bringing this up, for a while. He's very much in favor of Sullivan coming here, and with Keefe being fired, even before Keefe was fired, Justin was always bringing up the possibility it could happen, and Keefe gets let go, and then all of a sudden that ramps up again. It's very well possible. It's very well possible. I think I would much rather have Sullivan over Keefe. I think that's without question. My worry about Keefe is he's got all those superstars and those big names, and he couldn't get them all moving in the right direction when it came to playoff time. And exactly. we have some star names on our team, and I would hate to see a similar result to where we'd have great regular seasons and he can't get them moving in the same direction for playoff time. I think Sullivan is just so much of a better fit for what we have. Bringing up these young players that are going to be superstars.
Yeah. And, you think about it, you have like a Marner, obviously an Austin Matthews, you got a John Tavares, you got a Willie Nylander up there. Here's the thing that bothers me about Sheldon Keefe. Because I'm sure the Devils will probably end up interviewing him as well. But let me just run this down.
Yeah, they've asked for permission in the last couple of days. They asked for, I don't know who they have to ask permission for, but because I think he's still under contract with the Leafs. The
I
Leafs,
guess so, yeah.
The Leafs have so much dead money that they're paying out to fired coaches. I think they have more dead money to fired coaches than some teams having, dead cap space. It's stupid.
But listen to this, with the Toronto Maple Leafs, he never finished lower than third. This year they finished in third. His first year with the team, they finished with third. First, second after that. But first year in the playoffs, lost in the qualifying round. Second year in the playoffs, lost in the first round. Third year, lost in the first round. Second year, lost in the second round. Fifth year, lost in the first round. That doesn't get me very excited, especially a team with that much firepower as the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for winning the All-Star Game mini tournament, there wouldn't be anything to credit to any of those Toronto players.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about all they got. And that's my concern. I mean, with my concern, like I said, is he's got all those superstars, and they did, like you noted, they never finished less than third, which is fantastic. But it's almost like that was that's all they played for.
Yeah,
was the regular season. But But let's not also forget that the way that the Toronto team is structured and constructed, the majority of their money is built up in that core four, and then they cannot afford things like defense and goaltending. Because I think Samsonov is a decent goalie, but he's not good enough for what he needs to be doing. Kind of like Vitek in a sense. Woll was looking fantastic, and I want to say Toronto potentially beats Boston if Woll is a net. I think that is a heavy possibility because he played out of his mind. I felt so bad for him losing that shutout with like 0.6 seconds left. It was like, whoa, that's the worst. Like, he's happy he got the win, but to lose that shutout like that, it's like, that's one of those things where as a goalie, you're like, what the F, man?
I think it was actually like 0.1, wasn't it? It was like literally stupid. Like,
it was somewhere between 0.1 and 0.6. It was like, and there were questioned if it went in. Like, originally they didn't call it, and then they went back, and then they realized it went. It's like, wow, you're almost losing on a technicality in a sense, even though that's what you have instant replay for and all that stuff. But that also begs the question too: would Keefe have done differently in Toronto if they would have had, let's say, a Jake Ottinger in net? Would he have done differently with, let's say, a Swayman in net in Toronto if Toronto had goaltending? And we know way too damn well what it's like when you don't have good goaltending on a team, when you don't have reliable goaltending. So you also have to kind of look at that side of it too. Is it necessarily he couldn't manage the big stars, because he did in the regular season, but when push comes to shove, and we've been talking about this in our other group chat with the Hot Pod guys. It seems to be the East, you need a solid, disgustingly good goalie, whereas in the West you really don't. But then again, look, like it seems like the shine is coming off of Skinner for Edmonton, because he hasn't performed very well. But then again, the Canucks are winning with their third string right now, who has, I think, as many games of playoff experience as he's played in the last 3 days. So, it's tough. It's like we would have to see what if Sheldon Keefe is the guy, and I know a good listener of the podcast, Ted, I believe, does not want Keefe. If I remember from his message to me a couple days ago.
I'm right there with you, Ted.
But these are the things that I think Fitzy is going to bring up in these interviews, especially with someone like Keefe. But I just want the coach in place, whoever it's going to be, before they start making moves and bringing players in.
Agreed. Yeah, I like that idea as well. And with Vancouver, Edmonton, I mean, you could say Edmonton is kind of built very similar to Toronto. With obviously a
Mm-hmm.
lot of money with McDavid and Draisaitl and Kane
Yeah.
and Nugent Hopkins, and everything else. But then you get a team like Vancouver, who is a really well coached team under Rick Tocchet. We saw them under Travis Green, and it didn't work out. You
Yep.
bring in, Tock, and he changed that whole team around. And even in that first game, what were they down like 4-1 or something like that? To Edmonton?
I made the mistake. I made the mistake of turning that game on after working.
Turning it on or turning it off?
Turning it on. I worked until like I don't know, 10 o'clock or so, printing shirts after regular work on Wednesday, and I'm settling down to bed, and I turned that game on, and that was my mistake because it just went 2-1. The Canucks just scored, and then it went 4-1, and then it was 5-4 at the end of the game, and I just couldn't turn it off. I'm like, I need to go to sleep, but I can't not watch this game. But yeah, that's we've seen a lot, some of that, that could be Tocchet. I mean, Tocchet looks like a guy, I would not want to be on his bad side, nor would I want, to to be on the receiving end of when he doesn't get his crab legs. Like I don't want either. I don't want to be in either situation. But man, that was a wild game one, and then I think they won the second game too.
Yeah,
I can't
they're
remember.
coming on in a little bit here too.
Game three tonight, yeah.
Yep. But you can see that team has an identity. You can see that they buy into Tocchet's system. They play together for each other. I like what I see from the Vancouver Canucks, and I'm not going to be surprised if they knock the Oilers out once again. The Oilers are going to oil. That's what they're known for doing.
Same issue as Toronto. Like you said, same issue as Toronto. Like Skinner is not stepping up to it at this point.
But we need that coach a la Rick Tocchet. Now, there's a couple other candidates out there. One of them is Todd McLennan, who was just recently with LA and with Edmonton. See, another example here. When he was with Edmonton, I mean, they didn't do anything. He made the playoffs once with Edmonton in 16-17. When did McDavid get drafted?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't even remember.
Look that up real quick. McDavid draft.
One time. He got fired in 18-19. And then the next year he landed with the Kings. And he made the playoffs only twice. 2015, Sam says.
Yeah.
So he had McDavid. He had Nugent Hopkins. He had a decent team up there.
But no goalie.
No goalie. And then the irony is that he goes over to LA, and then they make the playoffs in 21-22 and 22-23, and they get bounced by who else? The Edmonton Oilers, both years. So womp womp womp. McLennan has got a good history. He was dynamic with the San Jose Sharks. First place, second, third, second, and then fifth place he got fired. But here's the thing, all those dominant teams with San Jose, 117 points, 113 points, 105 points, 111 in 2013 and 2014. Never made the cup. Never even made the cup. With San Jose, with Edmonton, and with LA. Never made it to those cup finals. And how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 playoff appearances. Never took a team to the cup finals.
Yeah. And there's
something
definitely
that worries me.
there's an argument to be made there, but then you look at someone like, and I'm probably going to say his name wrong if I'm, but there's what's his name, Bednar for Chicago, or not Chicago, Colorado. He had no NHL coaching experience, and I know that Colorado as a team was built really really well, but he had no NHL coaching experience, coached them to the Stanley Cup, and has been, with the exception of that one season to where they really took a dump and they just were awful. They stuck with him, and he's been coaching them to be a perennial Cup contender in Colorado. So you got to have the right team. Like maybe he has the right, Bednar has the right team there in Colorado to where it's his coaching job is not nearly as difficult as, like let's say Keefe that's got no good solid goaltending, but it's got a lot of good stars. But again, I don't think that the Toronto team, and I'm not quite sure that Edmonton team is really properly built to be a good team. They've got high-end stars on the front end, and that's really it. I mean, they've got Darnell Nurse on the back end in Edmonton, who is fantastic, but you need more than one defenseman. You need a goaltender, and that's something we're going to also have to do as well. So that's why, like, I'm concerned, like you, that we're bringing up names that have never won a cup, but then you look at the coaching experience they have and the teams that they've coached. Not all of them were really good, complete teams. So that's also going to be on Fitzy to put together a complete team for whoever he brings in, and hopefully put together a complete team with that person that's going to be able to work with the personalities they bring in.
Well, there's one guy that did win a cup who the Devils have interviewed, and that is Craig Berube. So he is someone, and again, like outside of that one run with St. Louis, he doesn't have a great track record in the playoffs either. Lost the first round to the Rangers when he was with the Flyers, lost to Vancouver in the first round, lost to Colorado in the first round, and then lost to Colorado in the second round. But in 2018-19, St. Louis was not very good until Mr. Berube came along and turned that team around, a la what I kind of see is very similar to what Rick Tocchet is doing up in Vancouver, where they had that sort of identity and style and buying into the system, that the coach was preaching. And here's another similarity, I think, from those other coaches against, a Tocchet and a Berube. Tocchet and Berube have long playing careers.
They do.
As opposed to everybody else there
gritty players.
Yes. Like they've
been
in the trenches. They've been in the battles.
They've taken a couple
gone
through to the face.
They've given some too. But they've also, gone through those type of playoff battles as a player and know what it's like to be there, to be in those situations, and that extra level you have to go to in the postseason as opposed to the regular season.
Not Ron Francis.
Brind'Amour?
Brind'Amour, thank you.
Hey,
Rod Brind'Amour. Similar vein.
He's another one now, and I swear, I was talking to a friend of mine down in Carolina, and she happens to be a fan of that team with the blue shirts. But obviously living in Carolina, she gets a lot of news about, the Canes and everything like that. And we were both in agreement that if the Rangers won yesterday, I don't know if Rod Brind'Amour comes back to the Carolina Hurricanes next year. If they get swept out again, it starts to become that we can't win in the postseason narrative. And who's the first one that usually, takes the blame on that? It's going to be the coach.
But there's also already rumblings about him not having an extension, 1, and 2, going to Seattle to be reunited with Ron Francis, which is why I almost spit out Ron Francis's name instead of Rod Brindamore. But it's possible he already has a new landing spot for next season right now already.
That is possible.
Whether Carolina succeeds or not, and we all hope that they succeed in the next couple of days and pull off the great escape and wind up winning the series. So
we're gonna find out, but what? Let's see. How would I say this now? Do you think Brindamore's job is safe at this point? Granted, the Rangers are a really good team. Obviously we hate them, but when you're looking at it objectively, they've got a really solid team. They're consistent through all their lines. Obviously, I think the biggest piece of the puzzle for them is Shesterkin is playing like Shesterkin, what we're used to. We've seen him kind of struggle at points in the regular season. Jonathan Quick came in and had a miracle run there for a while. But Shesterkin has been lights out in the playoffs this year. He's just been phenomenal. But
unfortunately,
if the Canes get bounced tomorrow, and they only win one game in this second round, do you feel Brindamore is safe in Carolina?
I don't think so.
And I'll ask everyone on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as well.
I don't think so. And one of the things to look at is their power play has been atrocious in this series.
Yeah, Tom just said that.
Their first power play goal was last night to win the game. Yeah. And
Tom just said Canes special teams have sucked. So
big time.
Go ahead.
And it was not last night. It was it would have been game 3 because last night was game 4. Yeah, so it would have been game 3. They had more shorthanded goals on their power play. They let up more shorthanded goals on their power play than they scored, and that cost them the game. But then again, we're looking at another situation where we have a fantastic team, but what are they lacking in the back end? A solid goaltender. And
you don't like Anderson or what's his name? Kochekov?
I think Anderson is just not able to pull the workload. Some of the goals that have gone, I know they were being ultra critical, but that was like one of those seeing eye goals. Like he didn't play the post correctly. But if we look, he let in another one or two like that over the course of the series. Now that the double overtime game, it's really tough to fault him on that goal because that was a deflection. Even the one overtime game, the game 3 overtime, that was another good solid deflection. So you can't really fault him on those two goals.
Who scored the long range one? That was a bad goal yesterday. I don't remember who it was.
I missed the first period yesterday, so I didn't see the long range.
No, I think it was in the second period. I think someone from the Rangers defense just like came in and shot it like just inside the blue line. I can't remember who it was.
And he's let up a couple goals like that, so he's good, but I don't think he's going to be your guy that's going to win you all the way. And Carolina's also been one of those teams that has been rotating goalies and been using multiple goalies throughout the course of the regular season. And Anderson looked phenomenal at times during the Islander series, but the Rangers just seem to have his number right now. And that's what we said earlier in the podcast is in the East you need a Shesterkin type of goalie that's going to do it for you. Because Carolina had over 50 shots in the one overtime game.
Yeah.
And I just got shelled for over 40 this past last week. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And that was only over 45 minutes. And Shesterkin played that into, 2 overtimes that game went and took 50 shots. It's getting that type of workload. It's it's a blessing and a curse because it's exhausting, one, but then you just kind of get into a mindset where you're not even thinking about the game, you're just playing because you don't have time to think. And a lot of people thrive on that. Some don't. But some of these guys are so much more in shape than I am to be able to do it.
Stephen Angle just brought up the old Claude Lemieux. What was that? I think that was one of the fastest goals for Devils team history, where he had that long range one against Hextall in '95, where he just like let it go from. It might have been just outside the blue line or just inside the blue line, if I remember correctly. Very nice. Very nice, Stephen Angle.
A good point to bring up.
Claude Lemieux also had a very long range goal. Not during a game, but before a game against the Flyers, which kind of went down in history as one of the biggest pregame brawls.
Oh my gosh!
That our buddy Chico, wasn't Chico on the ice for that too? Wasn't he with the Flyers at that point?
He might have been.
I think he was.
No.
Have we ever asked him about that? I think he was.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to ask him.
Lemieux. Oh man.
We'll have to ask him next time we have him
on. Let's see over here. Anderson, volatile. Oh, did I miss all of them? Where was it?
I think Sammy just said Chico was there, and then Samuel said that Marty had Samuel said Marty had a long range goal. Of course.
Okay.
That's about as long range as you can get.
Tom Dermody says if they go out in 5 in bad fashion, he's not safe. Okay. So that's another thing to think about because, all these games between the Rangers and the Canes have been close. Was it 4-3, 4-3, 3-2, I believe, that they lost. So that's something to keep in mind.
Game, generally you want to say an overtime game is pretty much anyone's game to win, but that first overtime game, the 2 overtime game, but that's also Carolina's MO too. It's just to shell a goalie with shots. They're not always quality shots. So I would have to go back and look at how many of those saves that Shesterkin made in that game that he actually were game saving or goal saving saves. But
okay,
at the same time, it's a bounce here or there for Carolina, and Carolina wins the game, and the Rangers lose.
Okay. Morgan says that was Lafreniere who had that goal against Anderson. I think that actually sounds familiar. Peter Seifert says Brind'Amour is not safe, and then he becomes my choice for the head coach. Tom, we know, says that if they get trounced tomorrow, that's bad news. Michael Rossi, if Rod leaves Carolina, the fans down here will riot. Oof. Joseph Lanham, I take Sullivan over Rod. Okay. Brooke says the coaching position in the NHL are so volatile. Yeah, that's basically
true.
That's basically every sports. But I think, that's true though. I think like the NHL, you really see a lot more coaching changes, I feel like.
The margin,
some of those first-time NFL coaches will get bounced around pretty quick. But yeah, you see a lot of NHL coaches come and go on the fast side. So yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
The margin of error in the NHL is just so slimmer, I think, compared to the other sports with the cap, and the parity in the league is just so good.
The parity is, yeah.
You have to have that locker room from start to finish, and you just want to make it to the tournament. And that's what a lot of teams want to do. And if you can't do it, then you're gone. Unless you're the Devils and you just, you let the heart of your coaching staff walk away, and then you keep going with what wasn't working to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Max said he had some friends from Florida come up. That's nice. Gotta be fun for them, cool. Going to the old TD Garden there to see see the Panthers beat the Bruins. Which by the way, talking about Sam Bennett, did you see like the reverse angle of when he hit Marchand?
I did. I saw that real quick earlier.
He totally sucker punched him, and I was having this conversation, with like people in the NHL with the most punchable faces. I think Brady. I think Brady Kachuk is up there, but Marchand might be like second place, for like most punchable face in the NHL. Mm-hmm. So Sam Bennett, as a Devils fan, someone who's seen Marchand take so many like cheap shots on the team for a number of years, I welcome you, buddy. I would welcome you with open arms on our team.
I am watching it again.
Oh, he got him good. And he got him really good. I did not catch that at first.
Yeah, no, that just came about. That came across my Instagram feed earlier, and I got to look at it quickly. But I still had that McAvoy hit bouncing around my head from the beginning of tonight's game.
And by the way, we got to give a shout. Steven Engel, apparently that's his cousin, reverse Engel with Steven Engel. So, that's his nicely done. Nicely done, Supernova and Steven. Very good. And oh my goodness. Hey, oh my goodness. There he is.
It's great to see everyone back again. I feel like we haven't seen everyone in forever.
And we got some new friends over here with Brooke. And Val's been around. Tom's been around for a while. There's Dubs.
Brooke's been around for a while, too.
Brooke's really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Peter. Joseph Lanham. There we go. Yeah, we got so many people. Nice to see everyone. Art Nunez. No Gallant. Art Nunez. No Gallant.
No. I want a coach that's going to be here for longer than 3 seasons and get fired halfway through the 3rd.
3? I don't even think he'd make it through 2. It'd be 1 season and then fired after like the first 20 games of the.
No, because he'd get them going for that first season, and we would probably get into the second round of the playoffs, and then that second season we'd fizzle out in the first round, and then we'd be like 10-30 in that 3rd year, and then they finally let him
go. 10-30. Oh my goodness. Hey, what's up there, Codex as well? Max, of course. Yeah, we got a lot of people on.
Yeah.
PP for the Oilers getting a PP.
Are they? I'll be watching that game.
I can't see who's
I'll be watching that game once we're done.
Oh yeah. We got it going on over here. I'm sure the Mets are going to get slaughtered by the Braves, so we'll just keep the old Oilers Canucks game on over here. Keep that going. It's one thing. I hope they don't ever do City Connect jerseys for the NHL.
No, but we have our jersey, so
Oh, I think isn't next year the last year we have to deal with that? I think so.
I don't know because
please next year's just use the stadium jersey instead. It's so nice. Everyone likes it. Use the stadium jersey.
I don't have it here with me because it's in my truck, but I got mine back. Finally,
did you?
My name ready to go? Yep, ready to go. Came back this week. But I have to admit, I picked up a jersey. I
still haven't got mine in.
Yours hasn't come in yet?
Mine still has not come in yet. I ordered it back in February.
Did you get the Adidas or the Fanatics?
No, that's the Fanatics one. Because the Adidas one was just... I should have got the Adidas one because I was like, I'll just get the Fanatics, I guess.
Oh, I'd rather wear a tarp.
Yeah, I should have just, shelled out the extra like 150 or whatever it was for it and like got the Adidas because you know what? I would have had it by now.
Yeah, you would have. And
it would have been much better quality besides all that.
Yes, that's that as well.
Yeah, I saw I got an email. It's like June the 12th or June 13th or 14th, somewhere around there is when it's due to like come in. I don't remember. It's just like I almost forgot that I ordered it.
I've done that with records. I've done that with so many records. Like packages show up. I'm like, what is this? Oh, I pre-ordered this 8 months ago. Oh, how about that? It's finally in.
Just in the Dawson Mercer voice for Max. I'll just get the Fanatics one. Maybe I'll buy me a beer after that. Yeah, I just so annoyed. But yeah,
Hmm.
I think we only have one season left with the Jersey thing. Oh, Edmonton scored. All right.
Here we go. Yeah, but this
Oh,
this
they're
season
going
is
crazy up there.
is Edmonton? No, the Edmonton's away, right? Or are they home?
No, they're home. They're home
They're
now.
home. They're home.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I can't even see. I can't see who's in net for Vancouver.
It starts with an S. 31, number 31. It should
31. I see. Yeah, I can't. I don't know
be.
who it
Yeah,
is. Who's
I
that?
forget how to pronounce his name, but it starts with an S. That's the kid I was talking about. This is his like third playoff game or whatever it is. It's Demko was in, and then he got
Right.
hurt. I feel like it was on a split save or something stupid like that. And then their backup that's Casey DeSmith, I think, former Penguin.
Did he get hurt too? Right.
And then he got hurt, and then they put this kid in who had like no playoff experience, and he's been the guy. I don't even know who their backup is.
You should be sending your resume out to Vancouver.
I really should be. I should be sending out
like,
to Vancouver.
Come on,
I should be
put me in,
sending out
Talk.
to
I'm ready to play.
places.
You should. You really should.
Yeah, I actually listened to a pretty cool interview with Keith Wedgwood today, and he was talking about how him and Ottinger have a pretty solid friendship with their e-bug down there in Dallas. Scott Wedgwood, sorry. Keith Wedgwood. Keith from Kate Scott Wedgwood. Sorry.
You're combining old Devils backup goaltenders.
It's
Keith Wedgwood Denis. That's who it is. It's Keith Wedgwood Denis.
Denny Lemieux. I was listening to an interview with Denny Lemieux. Anyway, Scott Wedgwood, I was listening to this interview. It seems like he has a decent friendship with their e-bug over in Dallas. And it just made me think, like, I want that. I want to be the Devil's e-bug. I want to be friends with the NHL guys.
You should.
I know.
You should be.
I know, but the Devils would find some way to screw it up.
Well, of course. Come on. We all know that.
I know. They had one tryout years ago, and I was unavailable for it. And that's the last time they had a tryout. I absolutely would have gone.
You should have. Silovs. How do you say that, Max? Is that... I don't know. I got my TV muted, so I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Samsonite.
Swampy, slappy, swampy, slap. I was way off. Is Silovs from the great country of Latvia? Okay.
Hey, I don't know Latvian.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but once I get my TV volume up after we wrap, then I'll make sure I practice it and have it ready for next week.
Yeah, it's. I heard it the other night, and I still can't remember it. But
I can't remember.
He's doing what he needs to do for Vancouver.
And that also shows you a team very well-rounded where you have this goaltender in there that's not your A option, not your B option, but your C option coming in, and they're still winning.
And I believe they kept him in that first game where it went to 4-1, and they stuck with him for that game. And they wound up coming back to win the game for him. So
Max says it's Silovs or Silovs. Okay. I'll figure it out.
Like yeah, we'll figure it out for the next podcast.
Yeah, once I get the volume up over here, once we wrap, then I'll practice it. And then I'm sure I'll screw it up again next week like I usually do. It's so nerve-wracking.
It can't be any worse
trying
than
to pronounce
Dean.
Some of these. Well, come on. That goes without saying. He's a Rangers fan, of course.
I know.
We love our Billy Dean, though. We love Billy.
We do love Billy Dean.
He's actually a Rangers fan I can talk to. So he's okay. He's okay.
Sometimes his Ranger fan shows. Sometimes it creeps out. Like Billy Dean, Trouba just physically decapitated a player on the ice. Well, I don't know why that was.
It's a legal hit. It's a legal hit.
It's a legal hit. He went in elbows down. He literally cut his head off with his stick. It was a legal hit.
It's a legal hit. What are you talking about? Legal hit. It's Billy Dean. He's at my door.
I do love
have to
Billy
make the
Dean,
Michael
though.
Jackson remix. Oh, I love Billy. He's great.
We really do.
Nemec Nemec, whatever it is, Supernova. I know. That's always a hard one too.
Yep. Oh, did you see what
Shimon takes the game.
did you see
Shimon Nemec.
did you see
Shimon.
did you see what Nemitz said about the crowds over for the World Tournament versus the NHL?
No, what do you say?
So supposedly, he's all about, the crowds over in Europe, and they asked him if, what it compared to the NHL crowds. He said the crowds in Europe are just completely night and day different. He said they're better in Europe than they are in the NHL over here. And I
could see
from
that.
what I mean, from the videos that I know I've sent you guys of some of the supporter sections at games in Europe for ice hockey, on top of what they normally do for things like soccer. But if you look across the board of how fans react in Europe versus how they react here in the U.S., it's like night and day. And if that quote comes out to be something that's, was actually a back and forth said, and he's going to catch crap for that, I'll stand behind Nemec and what he says, because you look at what some teams do for basketball. You look at some teams, what some supporter groups do for basketball in Greece. It's incredible.
Is that Lindholm get that goal? Vancouver
Is it tied
it all up.
There we go.
Power play. And look at Vancouver. They have an empty
teams.
They have an arena full of people cheering on there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oof, what a shot. So,
think there are any Oiler fans allowed to be in that arena in Vancouver?
Oh, probably not.
Because that they would allow Ranger fans into the arena.
Oh, I'm
here
sure.
in New Jersey, like they did for that Marty night thing.
Oh, poor Brooke over here. Her TV is worse than mine. Do you have Sling like I have, Brooke? Because I know my TV is always lagging behind as well on my Sling app. I'm surprised that I'm actually this on point, or this on time with everything. So
the worst is when
nice shot.
The worst is when you get an alert for something that's about to happen right before you actually watch it happen.
Yeah.
Like a goal for is fine, but a goal against, you look at it, you're like, there it was. What the?
Usually it's the Mets bullpen blowing a lead, and I'm just like, oh, there it is. Oh, there it goes. There it is. Yeah. All right.
Well, but I mean that happens on any day that ends in Y, pretty much.
Meet the mess. Meet the mess. But yeah,
so,
we got a good one.
There's
going
a bit
on
of a
here. 1-1.
comparison. There's a bit of a comparison. A team like Toronto or Edmonton never change their goaltending, and they never win. The Mets have never figured out why their bullpen is terrible, have never done anything in order to do anything about it, and they lose. It's like the same thing. It's the same damn thing. And until the Mets fix their bullpen, we're not winning anything. And until Edmonton or Toronto get a goaltender, they're not winning anything either.
Okay, Brooke says she's got Fubo TV.
Oh yeah, a lot of sports on Fubo.
A lot of sports on there, yeah. I still miss the forever best one was PlayStation View. I was so sad when they. It was great. I think actually YouTube TV has this feature now, but PlayStation View, you were allowed to have three. They had 3 boxes. They had like a double screen, and then they had a triple screen, and you could put like one game up on the big one, and then you would have 2 boxes. Like, oh my God, watching football on the weekends, you could put like Red Zone up in the big box, and then you could put like the CBS game and the Fox game like on the other 2.
You'd have it all.
It's like baseball postseason, or hockey's overlapping. You can have it all like right there on your screen for you. I think I'm sure at one point I had like Red Zone on, Mets game and like a Devils game all at once. But
awesome.
never mind. Sorry. Actually, the Devils start in October. That would mean the Mets would be playing baseball then. And
Yeah,
we all
right.
know the season usually ends around
Well,
June 1st for the Mets. So
it does. But you know what? But you know what that also means, though. Even though and when the season ends by June 1st, it means that ticket prices in the second half of the season are wildly affordable to go to Citi Field.
That is true. That is true. I'll give you that one. Oh, poor Brooke. She's a Jets fan too. Oh, geez. That's bad. Nova, we did have John Franco.
That is true.
Years ago.
It's
20
been
years
so
ago.
long.
25 years ago. Oh, man.
He was like the ultimate Met. Whoa!
He was.
The Mets won.
He would wear the.
The
they
Mets
did?
won 4-3.
Wow.
I just got the alert.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Very nice.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Franco was great because he would wear the sanitation department shirt underneath his uniform all the time. So
that shirt
Johnny Franco.
So beat up and worn.
Oh yeah. But we are coming to the end of the show.
Yeah.
It's been fun. We missed everybody. We're glad to see everyone back. Chatting online, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, everywhere else. Always love seeing all your comments, as we always say. You guys are such a big part of this podcast and what makes it so special, that we are here live. We're able to talk to you through all the comment section and everything like that. So it was great. This is great being back and talking some Devils hockey. Off-season woes and the off-season blues right now. But I will say the playoffs have been absolutely fantastic. I've been pretty glued to it.
Yes, well, bye.
Watching, listening as well. Like, I've been trying to get like my workouts in and stuff like that now that I don't have Devils games to watch every single day and do post-game shows on. But man, I've been popping up, my old, obviously I work there, my Sirius XM app. So it's got like everything on there. So I'm just like game to game to game to game. Just keep it going in my buds, and then when I'm done, pop it on the TV. Yeah, it's been fantastic though. These games have all been really, really great. Surprises, a couple shocks. We've had series go 7 games already. The Dallas Vegas series was incredible there in the first round. Yeah, and I think Colorado has been really surprising. As well, the way they took out Winnipeg. I don't know if they're going to be able to get by Dallas, but Dallas seems to let teams kind of hang around a little bit.
They really do. They really do.
Yeah,
and that could be
got that firepower. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can score in bunches.
Really
Colorado can score in bunches, but again, their goaltending is suspect. Georgiev can play really well, and then Georgiev can look worse than me. So again, goaltending. Feel like I've said that word quite often tonight. Yeah.
And it's funny seeing Parise on the Avalanche and what's his name? Oh, why can't I think of his name? On Dallas. His buddy from Minnesota that both got the monster contracts.
Oh, I didn't realize he was on Dallas.
He's on Dallas now.
I didn't realize that. He kind of went a little bit into obscurity.
Yeah, but they're kind of playing each other, and neither of them won a cup, and one of them's going to get eliminated.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Sam just said
Suter.
Suter.
There it is. Wait, is he Suter or Sutter? Which one is Suter? Is he Suter? It's Suter, right?
Sutter was 2 T's. Yeah, I think Sutter was 2 T's.
Was 2 T's.
Sutter brothers with 2 T's. This is Suter.
Suter.
You Billy Dean another name. You Billy Deaned another name.
I Billy Deaned it. Well, I guess I hear the music. I guess we're not getting the final thoughts. We're ready to go.
I guess we're not getting final thoughts. Hey, I want to squeeze. I got to squeeze a shout out in before we go. So Sam, don't cut me off. But good friend of the podcast, Justin and his son Jake. Hey, Sam, cut the music. So I guess we'll do our official final thoughts then, since Sammy cut the music.
Okay.
All right. So my final thought is, big fan of the podcast, Jake. was selected as the England goalie for the birth year of 2013. So he was selected to the 2013 England team for ice hockey. So congratulations to Jake. Good for him. And they've been going up and down and practicing with that.
2013?
Yeah, the 2013 birth year team. They do it by birth year.
By birth year? Oh,
yeah.
okay, I
birth
get
year.
you.
So his birth year is the team of all the 2013 kids.
Mike, have I been living in an alternate reality here? Because I thought it was 2024.
No. This is a team full of all the kids born in 2013.
Recently?
So all the kids born in 2013, out of all those kids in England, Jake made the England 2013 team.
And we got another goal.
And hope he does well for Team England there. So good job, Jake.
Nice.
Well done. And Justin's gonna be doing a lot of work getting him up and down. So get him to those rinks, but I know he'll do it. So.
And Brock Besser just scored for the Canucks.
Ooh, friend of the podcast.
So we got
friend of the Hockey on Tap.
Woo! Look at that. Oh man, he was left wide open there in the circle. Oh man, there's just no one on him.
Sounds
like Devil's defense. Yeah, it looks like some Devil's defense happening over there in Edmonton. Wow. Well, I got to say, I guess my final thoughts are that I hope Fitzy is watching the playoffs to see the amount of physicality that a lot of these teams are throwing around out there. You're seeing 40, 50 plus hits for a team, not combined, per team. You need that toughness, which we know the Devils have been lacking for a while now. We've gotten some a little bit better at the end of the season, but, with Big Mac coming in, but still, Big Mac is only playing 5 minutes a game. Yeah. You need to bring that toughness there. Will Nolan Foote step into that role? I don't know. But if you can find a way to get someone like Sam Bennett out of Florida, because they got to pay Reinhart a huge contract, I think you definitely should be looking into something like that. So, Fitzy, please do your homework.
Get us a goalie too, please.
Get us a head coach first.
And then
quality head coach that's going to lead. Yeah, that's going to lead this team.
Yep.
Not just appease the stars. We need a leader.
Yes.
That's going to lay down the law. That's going to make this team have an identity. That's going to make them play defense. That's not just, going for the home run every single play. They have to be more structured. I know injuries were a big thing this year, but you need that leader. You need that identity that I don't think this team had this whole entire last season. The year before, you could say they were speed and finesse and all that. This last year, that was gone. It was gone.
And you put an identity in place, and players play within their roles in that identity, and you potentially see less injuries because they're not overextending themselves to do it all.
Yep.
So it's got its benefits. Big time.
Hey, and there's our man JP as well, chiming in there.
There you go.
So we shall see. But we will be back next Sunday, hopefully with the entire crew. We want to say, by the way, before we go, Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there. All of your moms, my mom, everyone's moms who used to drive us to practice or, for me, I used to blast my mom out every day when I was playing my drums after school every day, driving us to practice, Little League, my roller hockey league, when I was in high school and everything. So happy Mother's Day.
My mom loved driving to hockey games, and we would blast Rammstein all the way to hockey.
Oh, there you go. There you go. If we have any moms in the chats, Happy Mother's Day to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for everything that you do out there. We would be nowhere without you, moms. So thank you, and I'll say I love you, Mom.
Yep, I love you, Mom, as well.
She's not listening right now, but I'll just say it. That way I can get credit for it afterwards. So, yeah. Until next time, everybody. Woo! Short Guy and Scotty and Sam Wu behind the board. We'll talk to you soon. Let's Go Devils podcast. Start the music again!